When a phrase like all-time highs gets its own acronym, ATH, you know that we are in the frothiest of bull markets. And that's exactly what the overnight action showed again. In fact, it was evident yesterday with the Japanese market hitting an all-time high during Asia-Pacific trading and that strength flowing through Europe into the US, where all three of the major indices also hit all-time highs in trading last night. A lot of analysts are pointing to a delayed reaction to the rate cut that was delivered the previous evening in the US, but the reality is momentum in share markets is positive, and in fact across asset classes remains positive. And the commitment to liquidity that was evidenced by the reduction in rates in the US has given investors renewed confidence and spurred markets to even greater heights. So with markets at record levels, it's interesting to note that the Russell 2000, the very broad measure of US share market activity, also hit a record. In other words, that very narrowly focused rally that we've seen in the US that zoomed in on those high growth tech stocks has now spread across the market. And with investors now looking at gold at record highs, Bitcoin near record highs, share markets near record highs, they are struggling to find areas to invest in, and clearly they're spreading out over the market and buying up everything that they can. It's a just buy moment in markets. When it turns, who knows? But the momentum is pointing in one direction only at the moment. Some evidence for that one of the greatest beneficiaries of this huge two-year rally in stocks is Nvidia. It was up 3.5% in trading overnight after news that it will buy a $5 billion stake in Intel. Now, Intel shares rocketed higher on the news. They're up 23%. And the reason for that is that Intel is a company in trouble. And while it does have a very good name and a well-established sales channel, its revenue has been in decline since 2021. And in fact, is down around 30%, 35% from those levels. And so the clear decline in the outlook for Intel appears to have been turned around with this deal, because it will get access to Nvidia's chips and Nvidia will get access to its distribution network, a deal that might work for both companies. It's certainly the first blush reaction in the share market indicates that, with both going higher. It's also a chance for Intel to reshape into the faster working culture that is dominating the tech sector at the moment. But as a number of analysts have pointed out, Intel is not out of the woods yet. However, that didn't stop investors moving away from AMD. Now, AMD is widely seen as a loser here. Intel and Nvidia are both competitors to AMD, and bringing advanced micro devices into sharp relief. This deal suggests that the competitive pressures on AMD are about to ramp right up. The shares only fell 0.8%, but they're under pressure. There's little doubt that this axis of Intel and Nvidia means that AMD has little upside at the moment. A couple of stocks that are of interest. Bullish, the crypto exchange that only launched in August, up 21% from that launch price, but the results had beaten estimates, and it's given very upbeat guidance, but it's down 27% since that IPO high. A lot of analysts retaining a buy rating on this stock. It really is leveraged to the outlook for cryptocurrencies generally, and a lot of investors taking that view that the cryptos are here to stay and that bullish will be a beneficiary. Silex Systems, a locally listed, Australian listed stock, is up 17% yesterday, up 54% over the past year. Now, Silex Systems is a fairly specialised business. They develop lasers to enrich uranium. And so this is a fairly arcane industrial process, very important, though, to energy development. And the success that they've had with recent tests has really boosted the share price. They've managed to enrich uranium with their process, proving up the process itself. They're now in the process of commercialising that. So the commercial rollout for Silex Systems of their new technology could result in a very serious uplift to their revenues, and investors appear to be moving ahead of that with the buoyancy that we're seeing in Silex Systems share price.